very first ever ASUN show. This is the only show about a conference that has a day named after it. So if you guys can find another day with a conference name in it, let me know and I'll change that. But as of right now, that's a fact. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through some of the games of the week and then talk about some of the performance of our conference members. And then we're going to have an interview with a special coach of Kennesaw State, and then we'll close it out. So last week's game of the week for the conference was Cal Poly versus Alabama A&M. That was my game versus Keo. My first ever game and Keo's first game as the coach for the reigning national champs. He beat me pretty handily. Not gonna lie, was well at first, right? So I got first quarter I got the dub. Well, I guess first half of the first quarter, so I'll take like an eighth of a win out of that one. But I definitely learned how to, started to develop a little bit of strategy for scouting, because before that I just kind of winged it and just randomly picked numbers, but now there's a little bit of strategy with it now. It was a good game, and I've definitely seen that there's some really good quality opponents in this league. So I'm excited to play my next out-of-conference game.
We were all super excited before the restart. Then you had the restart, and whatever, it happens. All right, but then this week's game is, I already forgot. Oh, it's Kennesaw State versus Citadel, and that game is second quarter still, and all tied up at 7. So Kennesaw is doing good against tough team in Citadel, and we'll see how that game shapes out.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into our week 1 winners and kind of discussing week 2 games now. First off, Jacksonville State had a nice dub against Montana State. Definitely glad to see some of the higher ranked people in our conference catch some dubs versus some high quality opponents. Pretty close game. He scored a field goal late, and then there's another touchdown at the end, but he held off Montana State at the end. Right now, I believe. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I believe he's still.
Yeah, he's up against Princeton. Still only 13 seconds into the game, but ran a TD back. If he can get these 2 wins, that's 2 wins against really good out-of-conference teams.
A top 5 win would be huge. Or top 15 win would be huge.
Yeah, so we should keep him up for a while, even if he falters a little bit in conference play. He'll keep him. But yeah, so moving on to my game, which was next. Last week I beat Furman 30-0. Good first half. First 3 drives, all TDs. So 21-0 early. And consistent through the second and early third that prompted him to delay a game 3 times in the third, just rage quit. And I've actually already finished my week 2 game against Grambling State, which was a much closer game, even though it didn't look like it, at least in the game chat, just because Grambling State doesn't talk much. But I beat him 45-38, which I got up early. I never gave up the lead, but he made me scared multiple times, especially at the end of the first half. So, yeah, that was
made you sweat a little bit.
Yeah, he would have had a field goal to tie it up at halftime, right before halftime, but he forgot to call a timeout. So that really helped, especially keep morale up as I'm still leading going into the second half. Consistent getting 7 points through the rest of the for every other quarter except the first. So was able to keep the lead.
Speaking of domination, Bethune-Cookman had a pretty big win last week over Georgetown. Kind of hit the gas pedal in the first quarter, never really looked back. 53-17 win over Georgetown. And then this week, they have a 14-7 lead over McNeese State. Seem to be controlling it there.
A minute left in the first.
Okay. Like to see
so
some
plenty
control.
of time to go wrong, but Bethune-Cookman so far doesn't look like they can do wrong. But we'll have to see how that game shakes up. And that, let's see. So we got two more winners from last week. We got Mercer, who got out to an early big lead in their win. Let's see I forget how they beat last week. They got out early in their win against Portland State, up 28-7 in the first, but slowly lost it through the next two quarters, but managed to rally late in the fourth to late touchdown, put them up 3, and that won them the game. So 54-51.
High scoring affair.
Shootout. Yeah, big shootout.
I feel like that was kind of the name of the game last week. A lot of, excluding any 100-point games. It was a pretty high scoring game, high scoring week.
Looking at the ASUN, it doesn't look like any team won with less, except Jacksonville State. All the other teams had at least 30 points as the winner. And most of the losers had 30 as well, at least 30. So
there's
high scores.
No darkness in this conference. No defensive struggles.
Yeah. And then the last winner of last week was Stetson. And he had a really good second quarter in that game, which, that was a win over Arkansas Pine Bluff, which he won 37-14. Really good second quarter where he scored 28 points, got on a big lead, and he never gave it up. Just continued. He consistent through the rest of the game, got him the win. Well, actually, no. Well, yeah. Well, he was quiet the second half, no points second half, but defense played good and kept him the win.
Some other big losses or top 25 losses last week. Like I said, I lost to Cal Poly. And then this week I got a kind of a slow roller versus Houston Baptist compared to last week. I think I was one of the speedier boys last week. So I'm taking it slow with Houston Baptist, and they got an ASUN win last week. So I want to make sure I get some vengeance on Jags for the Jacksonville win.
Exactly. Beat them down. Then let's see. So also we have Campbell losing to Penn. Tough loss, late turnover, sealed it. But let's see. So and Campbell is down 3. Looks like it's about to go into halftime against Idaho State. So plenty of time. Let's see if Campbell can pull out the win in that one.
Okay. Another top 25 loss we had was Kennesaw State to Incarnate Word. It was a pretty close game. I think they only lost by 4 in the end. But and it's nice to see. Incarnate Word was a playoff team last year, so it's nice to kind of see one of our new coaches hold their own for the most part. And we'll talk to him more about his game this week and how that game kind of ended up last week. Yeah.
And so then we have Savannah State losing to Citadel, 35-17. So not a great game for Baba. And let's see, he's going against Dartmouth. Oh, he already finished his game against Dartmouth. He lost 10-3. So not a great start for Savannah State. But yeah, Bob is more focused on Clemson. I think it's Clemson. He controls net. Yeah, tough loss to Citadel and a close loss to Dartmouth for Savannah State.
I'm just going to say the ACC doesn't have a burning ball of fire in part of their conference, so I don't really see the importance.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Samford also had Harvard became a top 25 team after beating Samford last week, so it was kind of a tougher game for Samford, but Harvard's proving to be a pretty good team. So, no harm, no foul there. Don't keep your chin up. It'll be it's a long season, so don't take it too hard in the first week.
Then we also have Chattanooga lost to Sac State, 38-15. Quiet first half. Sac State exploded in the second half to seal that one. And Chattanooga is a minute into his game this week, which is still against Davidson, which is still 0-0. Yeah. And let's see. 3 more teams.
Yeah. Now we got getting into some of the quieter members of the conference. Alabama State lost last week to Southern Utah. Let me see. That was one of the last games that finished. That was also wasn't a super close game, but I think we're working out the kinks. So the out of conference games are always going to be a little more interesting to kind of take a look at because it was especially in the first game, right? So you don't even know how they've been playing. It's harder to even scout them as a new coach as well. So like I said, don't take them on chin.
Then we also have Eastern Tennessee State losing to Nicholls State. That was 60-34. No defense in that one. Let's see. Looks like Nicholls' second and third quarter just exploded and sealed that one. Eastern Tennessee is up against Gardner Webb this week, and that game hasn't started yet. It doesn't look like it's done the kickoff yet. So that one, we'll have to see how that one shakes out.
And it looks like, to wrap it up, last week, Jacksonville lost to Houston Baptist on its attempt to enter the A-Sun. They're starting their tour across the A-Sun, so this was their first attempt to have an in-conference game, it looks like. I think that game ended on a delay of game, I believe. There was no point scored in the fourth quarter. It was pretty close, too, 24-17 at the end. So we're trying to, Houston Baptist keeps sending applications to the conference, and, can't keep an eye on him. So we'll try to put him in his place this week. And
let's see, Jacksonville is up against Lehigh this week. About to go into halftime. Lehigh is up 23-20. So plenty of time for Jacksonville to turn that one around, get a win. So now moving on, we have our rankings and the official power rankings for the A-Sun. This was made by all of us submitting our rankings, and Campbell averaged them out. So we'll see how our rankings differed from the final rankings. So I think we are more unified at the top than the bottom. I think the bottom is a little more interesting. So we'll go first to last. So I agreed with the official power ranking 1 through 8. So that was so mine and the official are Jacksonville State, Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman, Stetson, Campbell, Mercer, Kennesaw State, and Alabama A&M. Yours, would you like to?
So, for what it's worth, for the record, I actually agree with that record. It's just that Jack Daniels, at the time when I made my entry, did not agree with it. So, and you got to give me the benefit of the doubt. It is week 1, but my at the time when I created this, I was definitely in the right frame of mind to make proper judgment calls. So my first, my top was my top three are more or less the three in just different orders: Bethune-Cookman, Jacksonville State, Florida A&M, and then Campbell and Stetson. And then I really kind of shafted Mercer on the entire list by placing them at 13th rather than their rightly place at 6th. They did win last week. I don't know why I decided it was good to put them at 13. And then I had Alabama A&M at 6, Kennesaw State at 7, Chattanooga, Samford, Savannah State, Alabama State, Jacksonville, and then East Tennessee State at the end, which I think we both agreed on.
Yeah. So the rest of mine: Chattanooga 9, Jacksonville 10, Alabama State 11, Savannah State 12, Samford 13, and East Tennessee State 14. So I just thought it was interesting. So I was high on Savannah State. No, I was low on Savannah State. They were at 9. I had them at 12. I was high on Chattanooga. And another team. Hold on. Let me get back to them. Okay, so I was high on Chattanooga. I had them at 9. The official was 12. And
I was as well. I had them at 8. Yeah, I was high on them as well.
And I was a little high on Alabama State. I had them at 11. The official was 13. And then I was low on Savannah State and Samford. I had Samford down at 13 while the official was 11, and Savannah State at 12 while the official was 9. So you were way down on Mercer.
Yeah, I need to write a sincere letter of apology, like handwritten to his house. That's unacceptable behavior, but hold it down. I think it's interesting that the top 3, even though you and I had them in different order with Bethune-Cookman, Jacksonville State, and Florida A&M, they still are all pretty close as far as points go for first place. Now, there's a pretty, far spread across the 3 of them for first place votes in the conference. So I think it's something to note, especially over the course of the next 3 weeks with you playing Jacksonville State in your conference game. I think that'll be interesting to see how that kind of shakes out, because there seems to be a 3-headed monster at the top of this conference right now.
I think Stetson will make it a 4.
I think so too. I think week 2 will be an awesome barometer for that, and I think Stetson will definitely join the ranks. And Mercer, I'm sorry to you, dirty man. You're going to be up there very soon.
Yeah. So. Okay, so I think
at this point, yeah, let's get Kennesaw State in here. There we go.
I think he's able. Yeah, he should be able to talk.
Is it time? Hey,
yeah,
what's up?
It's time.
Go. It is time. How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Congrats on the Speedy Boy victory.
Yeah. I didn't even intend to do that. We didn't go into the week trying to get it. You
just got on a roll. Yeah, you just got on a roll. Awesome. Cool.
Okay. Let's see. So how do you feel about your game last week? How that went? You had the game last week was
yeah.
So last week.
So yeah, I knew I was going up against a good team. It was a double dipper, but I mean, NCS, I think is his Reddit name. I see him around on the SCS server, so he's pretty active here too. So I knew it was going to be a good game going in, and honestly, I'm just glad that with it being my first game, that I was able to hang, and I led most of the game. It was really slow game. I mean, we're not option teams, but it was sort of a defensive struggle there. Went back and forth. And really wish you could have got the win. It was really close. Had a drive at the end. Yeah. Came very close to winning, but we'll have to try to get that first win this week. So.
Does it look like you're getting that win this week? How you feel about this game?
Ooh. Oh, this game. So this week I'm playing the Citadel, who had a really good showing against Baba last week.
Yep.
So this game has started exactly like last game. So scored first easily on the first drive. And then we've just gone back and forth with stops. Um, the Citadel has gotten some drives, but I've been able to get some key stops in my territory. But we're tied right now, 7-7, and I've got the ball, trying to put together a drive around midfield right now. So it's strange how similar I'm doing this week compared to last week, and so it's it's odd.
How do you think the learning curve has been as far as a new coach? Do you feel like it was, you see some coaches struggle. I struggled my first game, first Keo. Have you feel like it was relatively easy to pick up on patterns, or was it more or less just you feel like you called the right place at the right time?
So it's easy. It sort of goes on a drive by drive basis. So
Yep.
And this happened earlier in my game at the Citadel. Sometimes you can just get in their head, and sometimes you're completely lost. Citadel psyched me out. I thought he was guessing one thing, and I went completely the wrong way. Easy 3 and out with negative yardage. So, I don't really scout. I've attempted scouting. I've done some of the scouting work, but when I get in the game, I mostly just go on gut, and I feel like that did me well last week, and it's doing me okay now. I would like to be doing a little bit better, but we're in a good spot right now. I'm in a good spot. Yeah.
So is this your first fake sport, or did you start at fake MLR or?
Yeah, so this is my very first fake sport. I had no idea this existed a month ago. I subscribed to the NCAA football subreddit. I'm never on there. I saw it randomly one day and thought I'd join it, and so joined Discord, saw how active it was, got a couple scrimmages, and got hooked.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just joined probably late June, early July, and I actually found this out through the AAF subreddit. I think the same way with Slolo, and it's kind of crazy how you just
which subreddit is that?
The American Alliance of Football.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
RIP.
They posted an ad soon after it folded. I was like, "Hey, notice folded. We have this thing. Maybe you can join." Kind of thing. It wasn't phrased exactly like that. It was phrased better. But
yeah, that subreddit is now all just salty posts of people who hate the idea of the XFL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But it's been a great community so far, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, and I think it's been really great. It was really great for all of all of us new coaches to land in the Atlantic Sun, because we're all brand new. And like you said, Gatormade, we're brand new to fake sports, and we're just getting here, kind of just being cheerleaders for each other, and it's actually a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really excited to get the conference play because it's going to turn on a head. Yeah, but
we'll see how much we're cheering for each other during conference play.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you make of the the rest of the upsets around the entire league, especially in week 1? Oh shit about that.
Yeah. So my gauging of the situation here in the FCS is that there are a lot of good established coaches, but I believe that this has got a lot of parity here.
Yeah.
I think it's. I'm not going to say it's easy, but if the right guy comes in and picks up a team and they try and they give some effort and try to stay in it, I think they're going to have some success, or at least flirt with some success. And you see it in real college football. Anything can happen any week. So I think with the activity we have this season, there's going to be a lot of turnover. We're going to get like a 2007 type college football season, I think.
Historian of the game. I like that. Yeah, I definitely can see that happening as well. I think we all kind of saw that too happen. And I mean, not that I was here, but if you look at the how the playoffs went into the last season, it kind of seem to shake out that way too. Kind of seemed like, especially with how Dayton made it all the way through. It really seemed like anybody's championship for the taking.
Yeah, it's really up for grabs. I agree with you there, and so that's what makes it fun for us new guys. We get the big head
Always
and
have a
think we can
chance.
take them on. So yeah.
Well, that's kind of all the questions that I had. I don't know, so if you had anything.
I can't think of anything right now. Yeah, I think that's about it. Do you have
All right.
anything you want to talk about with any other game, or that you,
Anything
thought
you
was
noticed so
interest-
far?
that you just thought was interesting and we missed it, or? Bethune-Cookman has a question. Do they play you? I don't know. We'll have to see the schedule.
Let me see. I have my schedule. Yeah, week 10, I believe.
Let's see. Kennesaw. Yep. That's what it looks like, week 10.
Follow-up
Up
question.
against
Follow-up
Bethune-Cookman.
question.
It's probably going to be, are you ready to get beat?
Okay, Beth.
Beth.
I'm gonna call you. That's what I've been calling you in the chat already. But
Kilo.
Oh, I hate that emoji.
oh yeah, I'm gonna be making that emoji. Yeah,
Please, no kissing cat.
yeah. Kissing cat forever. This is gonna be the story of the season here.
The mascot of the whole season.
Yeah, this is gonna be in the meme tournament next year.
Great.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But I don't have anything else to really talk about. I wasn't really prepared for this, but some other things going on. But I appreciate you guys having me on. So
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate
And
you having come on.
yeah, best of luck with your game this week. Seems like if it's heading in the same direction it was last week, you should be in good straits.
Yeah. More experience, know how to close out. Well, not know, but more experience on closing out a game.
yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of just do it the same way that the late night show does it, and we'll probably just hop over into general. But that's all I had. Thank you guys for coming out and checking out our very first show. If you guys like it, let us know, and hope to see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Bye.